And now, an introspective with a cyber guy.
According to the introduction to this, this is actually my first use of that introduction. You can see I had stacks of books with my little Scully friend here, and the purpose of that introduction is I am trying to learn. The purpose of all the books, trying to look serious, but as the intro proceeded, you can see it was a coloring book. So a lot of times I don't take myself that seriously. I'm almost 65 years old, and I've only been interested in knowledge probably the last 10 years of my life. Excuse me. But if I can get to the point here, I don't want to belabor this introduction. I want to make a series of videos to help understand the fallacies, the truths, and the errors of the Bible. Many people have claimed to have pointed out all these mistakes, and my belief system is based on the Bible. And I believe there's approximately 800 errors, so they're called, in the Bible. I hopefully won't make 800 videos, but I'm going to go through them and try to give a reasonable explanation of how those errors have been dealt with. And when you get right down to it, most of those errors are not errors. Many people think they're a Bible scholar just because they've read the Bible. I've heard it so many times. I've read the Bible. Well, so what? I have a car in my garage. I know how to lift the hood. I know how to change oil, but it doesn't make me a mechanic. It takes a lot of study to really know the Bible and what it's trying to say. It's very complicated, and they've been studying it for many, many centuries, and they're still finding new things. So the Bible has been much maligned, and I hope to bring some clarity to it and to underline everything that I'm going to be saying now and hereafter in all the videos. I'm not claiming to be a scholar. I'm not even close to being a scholar. What I want to do is pick up on resources and information that I regard, and most regard, as credible. And part of what I'm going to be speaking on is from N.T. Wright, a respected scholar and theologian. And I've also looked at some science sites in regards to this first opening about the beginning. And it starts in Genesis 1:1. We can't get through the first sentence and there's an issue already. And that's cool. You know, the Bible should be criticized. I'm not here to say don't criticize the Bible. Please criticize it. It brings us all to an understanding that we need to spend time to see what is it really saying. And you'll have to excuse me, I have my laptop here. I tried to have some notes because I tend to ramble, and I don't want to waste time on this video because I know you're supposed to keep your videos down to about 6 minutes or people won't watch them. Well, I just go on and on and on, and I'm not sure why, but that's just what I do. So let's see what we have here. I'm here for two reasons. The one explanation I'm giving is for Christians who may have some doubt, that are on YouTube, that hear all the screaming and hollering and accusations that the Bible is a fairy tale, it's a fallacy, none of it's true, it's just a bunch of garbage. Hopefully I can help strengthen a Christian who has some doubt on specifics. This is all going to be about specifics. And I'm sure many of you will disagree, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope we can have a reasonable, underline reasonable debate without calling me stupid and an F-tard. You know, I've heard that and I know it. Okay, let's just say I am. But let's get to the point and argue some facts and resources. Okay, my second reason for this is those who point to the fallacies and errors in the Bible, I'm assuming you didn't look that deep, because most of these, there's an answer for them. And we're just going to go through them and let me get to the point. We're going to start out today with Genesis 1:1. I'm going to start with Genesis, then I'm going to go into something from Matthew. And you'll have to, I really am reluctant to start here, but I guess you're supposed to start at the beginning. And this is about science. I don't know nothing about science. I've heard about all the arguments. You know, I can't really have any debating skills in regards to science, but I believe what I'm going to read is true. I've seen it in college websites, scientific websites about the beginning. And I know a lot of people argue with me about evolution and creation, and that evolution is not about before the Big Bang. And you know, that fine. But when I talk about creation evolution, I'm talking about from before the Big Bang. So I may be stating it incorrectly, but you know what I mean when I'm saying it. So I guess the first point is, how can the universe have a beginning when modern science says energy is eternal? So the problem is, according to the first law of thermodynamics, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So if this is true, then the universe must be eternal, since it is made of indestructible energy. And we know that through thermodynamics, the first and second law of thermodynamics actually, that science appears, I think it's a fact, or as near a fact as you can get, that science has proven that the universe is expanding, which means it had a beginning. And I guess the big question is not so much that fact as what happened before that Big Bang. What initiated the Big Bang? What started it? And I know there's all kind of the Big Bounce theory. There's just tons of theories and hypotheses on what happened before that. And the multi-universe, and Michio Kaku has his string theory, I believe it's called, and there's lots of stuff. So, according to N.T. Wright, this is his solution. There is a conflict of opinion here, but no real factual contradiction. The factual evidence indicates that the universe is not eternal, but that it did have a beginning, just as the Bible says. Several observations are relevant here. And I wish I didn't have to read this, but I'm a dummy. I have to use other people's resources and criteria and their studies. So I'm sorry that I can't just read it. Okay, first of all, the first law of thermodynamics is often misstated to the effect that energy cannot be created. However, science is based on observation, and statements such as can or cannot are not based on observation, but are dogmatic pronouncements. The first law should be stated like this: so far as we can observe, the amount of actual energy in the universe remains constant. That is, as far as we know, the actual amount of energy in the universe is not decreasing or increasing. Stated this way, the first law makes no pronouncement whatsoever about where energy came from or how long it has been here. Thus, it does not contradict the Genesis declaration that God created the universe. I think that's pretty simple language and understandable. I don't think even the science side would argue that point. And the second fact is, another well-established law is the second law of thermodynamics, which states the amount of unusable energy in the universe is decreasing, and hence that's where the previous explanation I gave is that we're running out of steam. So if you put that together, the universe is unwinding. And if it had an infinite amount of energy, it would never run down. Therefore, the universe had a beginning, just as Genesis 1:1 said. And not being that familiar with science, I know for decades it was believed that the universe always was. And, you know, I, as a previous agnostic atheist, I would just assume that that was true. Science said it, so I believed it. And all along, for hundreds of years, the Bible says, in the beginning, it's stating that there was a beginning. That's pretty cool. I know that's not going to help a lot of unbelievers, but as a believer, it makes me think the Bible was dead on when science was wrong. And I know the theories and things that are out there now say that they have some thoughts on what happened before the Big Bang, but pretty far out there. And I don't know where I'm at time-wise on this. I may cut this off.
Until next time, be sure to stay in the line.